Hello everyone, it's Allie from Titan and welcome back to our channel. I am here with our one and only personal break of the evening to have one ZENDIKAR Rising set booster box for Lucas H from Washington. So thank you so much, Lucas, for letting me open this on up for you. Hope to find you some awesome magic cards to add to your collection. Now I must admit it has actually been quite some time since I've opened up any ZENDIKAR Rising here on the channel. I think the last ZNR box that we opened up here was perhaps a collector booster or two during a live stream a couple months ago or so, but can't remember the last time I opened up a set booster, so I'm excited to go ahead and recheck out this product. Of course, you do have those really cool looking showcase cards. My favorite of the bunch was the Lotus Cobra. I thought that looked really cool, but of course you do also have that multicolor Omnath. Other nice mythics in the set, like Scourge of the Skyclaves is a black mythic, but I'm very curious to go ahead and see what we'll find here in this box for Lucas. So let's just go ahead and jump right on into it by snapping us into the corner. And here we go. Now, I am wearing a Star Wars shirt today. I'm actually very excited for tomorrow's release of The Mandalorian Season 2. The checklist actually did drop from Topps today, and I know a lot of people are actually upset with it. It's not meeting their expectations, but honestly, when I looked at the checklist, it's about what I expected. No Gina Carano's, I didn't expect to see her. No Nick Nolte, no Taika Waititi, for plot-related reasons. That makes sense to me. A couple new signers, but nobody crazy. I feel like Topps, if they're going to go all out with new signers, it's going to be a product like Stellar Masterwork. They do have several different relics. They have the Source Fabric, which I like those. Those were pretty popular with Mando last year, and they do actually have Rosario Dawson as Ahsoka relics in there, some of the Razor Crest relics. So I think people are just looking at the auto checklist and not being too pleased with it, but it's about what I expected. I think the excitement for the set is hurting the checklist more than the actual checklist, if that makes sense. But I'm very excited to open it. And hey, we have a really nice card here, Marsh Flats. Actually, on TCG Player, people have got their land bug with the release of Modern Horizons 2, of course, did have Marsh Flats reprinted. But Arid Mesa, Scalding Tarn, Misty Rainforest, and Verdant Catacombs. But we have been selling a ton. This sleeve's all messed up, so I'm going to change it. I don't know why it's all crinkled there. But we've been selling a ton of these ZENDIKAR Rising expeditions, foils and non-foils. So people are really excited about lands again. I think people are just very excited to start playing. Just a little piece of silver there. Again, so we've been selling a ton of singles, all kinds of different singles on our TCG Player store. So I've been absolutely swamped between online orders and listing new cards and things like that. We bought a couple collections recently as well. And then, of course, tomorrow Mando comes out, and I'm going to have to list all that stuff. Still have to finish last week's Game of Thrones. So nice to have a little break here and just open up some more cards. Thank you so much, Lucas, for letting me open this on up for you. Very nice break from today's very busy just in general. Now, I do, on some TCG orders, anything that does get shipped out with tracking, I do handwrite notes on all the packing slips. And you guys can see my little callus there that's been forming. Very irritated today from writing out so many little notes. So thank you so much to anyone who's bought from our TCG Player store. Trying to get those out as soon as I can. But it's been very, very busy. Now, I remember this. The ZENDIKAR Rising set boosters were before... So ZENDIKAR Rising are the first ones. They're before Wizards decided they put all the commons in the front and the uncommons at the end, no matter how many you're getting, because you can get variable amounts per pack. This set, they are all mixed, so I do have to keep track of that. We have Zareth San the Trickster for our first rare, and have a foil showcase, Makindiox. There's our little token slot there. So we did get a Marsh Flats, which was nice. I have a showcase foil. Hopefully we can get a showcase foil Lotus Cobra or Omnath. Those are gorgeous. Yeah, definitely been some time since I've checked out ZENDIKAR here. Definitely had to give myself a little refresher on the set before we got started. But I'm still very excited for that product tomorrow. Another big release tomorrow is X-Men Metal. So you will be seeing a lot of content on the channel tomorrow. Most likely one stream. Hey, we have a foil regular Omnath. Hello, Cheeto Hand Boy. That is cool. Foil Mythic, Omnath, Locus of Creation. So that's cool. First foil rare and or mythic, and it was a mythic. So a lot of non-sports coming. We did, of course, have all that Modern Horizons last week. This week, have a lot of Star Wars and X-Men Metal Universe from Upper Deck is a new Marvel product tomorrow. Some new baseball this week as well. And then next week, Extended Series Hockey comes out too. So it's just never ending these next few weeks. This week, last week, next week. So many new products coming out, which is nice. Just they're all coming out at once, which isn't so nice. You have Branchloft Pathway Borderless and Boulderloft Pathway. Strength of Solidarity regular foil and V2 Ghazi Guild Mage from the list. Curious to see which list cards. Now, Zendikar Rising being the first, like I said, first set booster, does have the smallest list. Do believe Food Chain was on the list still at this point. No Kozilek. That wasn't on the list just quite yet. That was a recent addition, I believe, with Strixhaven. Skitherix is a mythic dragon. That's on the list as well here. Because we actually sold one. I pulled it out of the Zendikar box. That's how I remember in particular. So definitely still some good cards to find from the list here. So I'm excited for those extra hits. We have Kaza and a borderless mythic Nissa of Shadowed Bows. Foil Tajuru Blightblade. This set booster's all crazy. There's some packs here just all which way in the back there. So I'll throw them in this right column. May as well. Foil Swamp. Do love the full art foil lands here in this set. Nice callback to, of course, original Zendikar. Bright Climb Pathway, regular, and Grim Climb Pathway. Soul Shatter. Expedition Diviner foil. Turntimber Symbiosis is our next mythic. With Turntimber, the Serpentine Wood on the back. Attended Healer foil. Fearless Fledgling. Yasharn Implacable Earth and Marauding Blight Priest foil. Sunscape Battle Mage from the list. Oh, Grove of the Burnwillow's art card. Squad Commander and Scorch Rider foil. We do have a signed art card here of the borderless Nahiri. Artist is David Raposa. This is art card number 4 in that 81 card set. Nahiri, Heir of the Ancients, borderless. I believe Zendikar Rising was pretty 50-50 on whether you'd find 1 or 2 per box. I'm curious to see what we'll find here for Lucas this evening. If Nahiri will be our one and only, or perhaps she'll have a friend. Shadow's Verdict and Scavenged Blade foil. Canopy Balance Showcase. Wayward Guide Beast and Kazandu Stomper foil. Did try to put a common that I had misplaced into the uncommon pile into the, proper pile, and start a little cascade of cards here on the mat, so definitely gotta tidy that up. Here we go, let's continue. Moving into the second row of packs here for Lucas. One mythic foil so far, a couple list cards, and one signed art card. Skyclave Geopede, Jace Mirror Mage, mythic number 2, Seagate Stormcaller, 2 mythics in this pack, Deadly Alliance, doubled our mythic count here with just one single pack. A blue themed pack. Clearwater Pathway, Cunning Geyser Mage, Swarm Shambler and Brushfire Elemental, Showcase foil, Bojuka Bog from the list. Speaking of Bajukabog is actually the card image I used because I was searching. Now, we now run Pauper events here at Titan, which actually right now, if it fired, because we actually run Pauper and Draft simultaneously, Bossman didn't think we'd have enough people interested, so he's like, whatever, just schedule at the same time. First week, both did fire, which was quite surprising to us, but hey, giving people a place to play. They'd been asking for it, definitely willing to try. But I'd looked up, I was like, what are like top cards in Pauper? And I ended up looking at top lands, and I saw Bajukabog. So that's actually on the Titan Games Magic Players Facebook group, I think it's what it's called, is actually the picture I have for the Pauper event. And is running, like I said, if it fired, is actually running right now as I'm recording. So hey, welcome Bajukabog. Pauper staple, perhaps? Question mark. Definitely usable, as it is a common. Unless it's banned or anything. But then it probably wouldn't have been on that list if it was. Luminarch Aspirant, Zilport Duelist, and Noble Benefactor. It's our next list card. Skyclave Relic, Relic Robber, Grotag Bugcatcher, foil. I really like this card here. This is Seachrome Coast, I believe, with that bird just chilling on the Hedron. Ah, one of my favorites. One of the favorite expeditions. I think actually is my favorite Zendikar Rising Expedition art. Spitfire Lagak, Crag Crown Pathway, Expedition Healer. Speaking of expeditions, and just in terms of like land reprints, I know I talked about it, touched on it at the start, but the Modern Horizons 2 prices are already back up through the roof. Forest foil, which is nice, but both Scalding Tarn and Misty Rainforest are back over $50 for the regular non-foil cards. We actually had somebody trade in some retro frames. Retro frames, I look, last sold we had for like 70. Retro frame non-foils are now like 100 for Misties. It's like, what? Stuff is crazy. Definitely, it is. I mean, it's true. It always seems, especially like Saturday night to early AM on Sunday is when prices bottom out, and then they start heading back on up. So definitely, if you didn't get your Fetchland reprints, you might have missed the boat a little bit. Like I said, we had sold some Misties and some Tarns at $39.99. That's when it last sold, and then we have already sold them at like $52. It's crazy. Lands are crazy. People are going ham on lands today. On Zendikar Rising Expedition foils, non-foils, all kinds of Modern Horizons 2 ones. I think people are just very excited to start playing again. I know I would be if I played events that weren't just sealed pre-releases. I have no talent at Magic, but, you know, hanging out, building a little deck from a kit, I enjoy that. So didn't get to do it because, of course, I was working, but it was a cool... I imagine it was a cool experience. When I actually did get to play in pre-release events, I always had a good time, so. We'll see. Maybe eventually I'll be able to make time for it once again. Maybe with the D&D sets. Maybe. Tajuru Paragon and Teeter Peak Ambusher. And also the other pack, we did find that Eldrazi Displacer. Originally from Oath of the Gatewatch. And then close to the end here in our last third of the box for Lucas. Love to find some more foil rares and foil mythics. We only have that foil Omnath, and that's it. Do have a couple foil showcase cards, but would love to find other things here as well. Other nice shiny cards. You have Linvala and Canopy Baloth foil showcase. Crystalline Sliver from the list. Slivers cannot be the target of spells or abilities. Prowling Felidar. Coveted Prize. Skyclave Squid. Didn't see the green. I was like, ooh, is that a food chain? Then I'm like, no, that's not the right color green. That's just green. And just because it's green doesn't mean it's a food chain. Did eventually, it took 3 sets, but we did actually find out of a Strixhaven set booster, a food chain for Stephen O, which was pretty cool during one of our live streams. It was the first food chain pulled on the channel. I remember a couple of years ago, there's a friend of the shop named Josh was just going through some of our boxes we had behind the counter. Back then, I mean, we do still have it, so I think actually Bossman's working on getting everything reorganized. But boxes of commons and uncommons by set, so he's just looking through the Mercadian Mask set, I believe. And, you know, back then the rarity symbols weren't different colors, I don't think, or maybe it was just mixed in there regardless. We can see if we find. Probably did have colors, because this one is a old border card with it. So, anyways, whether or not it did. But long story short, there was a food chain just chilling in the common box. And it was like, what? It was only like 30 bucks back then, too. Now, of course, food chain's more. But that was a really cool find. He's like, I don't think this is supposed to be in this box. And we're like, yeah, that's not supposed to be in there. So, sometimes you just dig around, you might find a random food chain. That's cool art there. Jace versus Nahiri. Polyhedrons. That actually looks sick. Who is that? Magali Villeneuve. Makes sense, makes sense. Speaking of Magali Villeneuve, did you know that she does Star Wars art on occasion, bringing it back to the t-shirts? Start with the t-shirt, bringing it back. Yes, actually. There are special editions of the new Thrawn trilogy. New as in, like, new. Not the new Disney trilogy, because there was that one, and then there is a prequel trilogy of Thrawn as well, all written by Timothy Zahn, for those of you who are into Star Wars. And they've had alternate covers. Oh, we have Academy's Awakening and a Branch Off Pathway in this pack. I'm actually going to bring it over. Because for some reason, since I got it and I unboxed it on my channel, I haven't taken it home, but alt covers with the Thrawn. The art is by Magali Villeneuve. And this is number 1. Now, the second book in the Thrawn Ascendancy trilogy already did come out, and then of course I purchased it day 1. I was excited to get it, and then next day there was the announcement of the next special edition, which they're expensive. They retail for $150, but I was like, that's really cool. That's a really cool looking art. Love Magali Villeneuve's work, you know, very popular Magic artist. And I was surprised, honestly, that they stayed around retail price for a while. Now they're about $400 on the secondary market. But the next one should be coming out sometime in August, so I'll be keeping an eye out for that. And hopefully, I'll be able to complete my whole set. Now, of course, there's only 2 books so far. It is supposed to be a trilogy. So when Volume 3 comes out, that company better go ahead and make another special edition, because otherwise they'll be upset that only 2 exist out of the 3. So I have to keep a reminder out for it, because the book did come out, I think, in like late April or early May, and it's not coming out with the special edition until August. So, but anyways, I'm excited for that to come out. I love Magali Villeneuve's art. That's the long story short here. And it's related to Star Wars. And for some reason, I am not good about taking stuff home. I mean, I know why. We have a Shia, Soul of the Wild. Usually because I finish up here very, very late. Snubhorn Sentry. Like I was actually joking earlier. Because I still haven't been able to watch Loki episode 2. And I was joking that, hey, I'll actually be able to get to watch 2 Loki episodes tonight at work, because I'm expecting to be here very, very late. Now, those episodes do go up at 3 a.m. Eastern. I don't know if I'll quite make it to that, but I honestly wouldn't be surprised if I did. So, I'll be here quite some time. So then, of course, I don't want to be, you know, going out to the car and running around in the dark and, you know, just for safety reasons. I don't want to be lugging a bunch of stuff out. So then I'm like, oh, I'll just take it another time. And then it just sits here and it piles up. And it never gets to go home. But a Maddening Cacophony, also by Magali Villeneuve. Merfolk Falconer. Combination of the sea and the sky. We don't need the land. We got everything else. I like it. For generations, we have bred and trained falcons for expeditions into Emeria. Now more sky runes open themselves to those with the means to reach the heights. It's a lot of flavor. It's a lot of flavor. Another foil land. This time we have plains. Kindiox. Confounding Conundrum. Skyclave Apparition. Definitely a nice rare here. Skyclave Sentinel. I know our TCG player guy, Billy, actually got those for his white modern deck. And then now I don't know if it's still Still playable in his deck. TCG player Billy is one of his favorite cards were Shot on Ports, but his like favorite card to play is Stoneforge Mystic. So, Stoneforge Mystic, as you all are probably aware for Modern, has recently gotten very expensive once again. I remember Double Masters printings, like near mint, Double Masters, got down to like about $10 at some point now. They're $54. I know this because I packed one up today. So Stoneforge Mythic's back up. And of course there's new Cauldron Complete from Modern Horizons 2, which is a living weapon, of course, good with the Batterskull stuff for that deck. So I don't know if Skyclave Apparition is still relevant to that deck anymore or not, but I've heard that card talked about a lot. Modern is a format to me that's like scary. Like it's like, okay, standard, it's like I can somewhat follow. There's not too many different terms, but even I was just looking at the, you know, in the Modern Horizons 2, there's some cards of these in the set boosters and even some draft boosters where it's telling about the different types of cards in the set. And it's going on about like affinity and all this different stuff. And I'm like, I've heard these terms before, but that's too much for me. Of course, it's not an entry-level product, but it's like, man, this is outside of my knowledge range. To get Riptide Laboratory, who was reprinted, actually. Not with the old border. I mean, you do have those parallels in Modern Horizons, but regular new border art in the set. And that was on the list. Does the list predict future new additions to Modern? Conspiracy time. On to Inversion, Maddening Cacophony, foil rare. At one point, I was actually trying to collect all these story spotlight cards. And then when War of the Spark came out, I was just like, there's too many of them. There's too many. It was like 20 some odd ones. Usually there's like 5 story spotlights, and then there's like 20. I was like, maybe even 30. I was like, that's a bit much. And anyways, last pack here. I also haven't been really keeping up with the story. I did actually read that first War of the Spark novel, and I was like, it's okay. You know, I was like, all right, this is my first intro to like any kind of magic story. I was like, this is, you know, it was okay. And then the second book came out, and I was like, I read the little excerpt. I was like, no, hard pass. Now I understand why people were so upset with the first one. Because as an intro thing, I was like, all right, you know, I'm not, you know, I know about these characters, but I don't know like super ins and outs of how they act and things like that. So I was like, yeah, I mean, the story was, you know, very YA novel-esque, but I was like, all right, I'm down with this. I can see it. Thought it was cool. You know, from an actual, like, what happens plotline. There's definitely several pages where I was like, that sentence was horribly written. I remember there was even certain very suggestive jokes, like, right towards the beginning about, like, Jace and Liliana. I was like, yeah, I know this happened, but, like, why are y'all being weird about it? So that I was like, okay, the first one gets a pass for me, and then that Forsaken novel came out. Interesting, that's what it was called, huh? Interesting choice there, Wizards. But anyways, enough about complaining about story spotlights and War of the Spark, and completely off topic here, somehow always bringing it back to Star Wars. But let's go ahead and do a recap here for Lucas. I did somehow finish off this box opening. I was just opening packs, and I got completely distracted by everything else. But let's start off with our Mythics. Did have 5 non-foil mythics in this box. Turntimber Symbiosis, Shia Soul of the Wild, Seagate Stormcaller, Jace Mirror Mage, and Academ's Awakening. Why did I read them off like that? That wasn't in order, but I did them by color. And then combining all the colors, we did have Omnath Locus of Creation foil mythic, and just 1 foil rare, Maddening Cacophony. Also only had 1 showcase rare, Felidar Retreat, so unfortunately no Lotus Cobras, no regular Lotus Cobras unless I talked over one, but no showcase ones either in this box. And we did have that Borderless Branchloft Boulderloft Pathway. 3 showcase foils, Makindiox Brushfire Elemental and Canopy Baloth. Had this nice little pile here of uncommon and common showcases. We'll put them on our nice sized pile of common and uncommon foils. We also had 1 Borderless Mythic, Nissa of Shadowed Bows. That did bring us to a total of 7 Mythics in this box, not including any of our list cards. Did we find any Mythics on the list? I don't believe so. No, not that I saw. But go through those. Riptide Laboratory, Stubhorn Sentry, Crystalline Sliver, Eldrazi Displacer, Noble Benefactor, Bojuka Bog, Sunscape Battle Mage, and Vitu-Ghazi Guild Mage. Then we did end up with just the 1 art card with that stamped signature, was the Borderless Nahiri. Hair of the Ancients, Arts. Our box topper, the non-foil, of course, was a Marsh Flats. And for our rares, I'll just pan through all of these. But that will do it here for this box for Lucas. Thank you so much, Lucas, for letting me open up some Zendikar Rising for you on the channel. Like I said, it's been some time since I've opened up Zendikar Rising, so definitely nice to check out this set once again, get back to those original set boosters, and just have a great time. So I really hope you enjoyed the opening, and of course, love these new additions to your collection. Now, all of you out there watching, whether your name is Lucas or not, really did hope you enjoyed the video as well. If you did, don't forget to go on ahead and hit that like button. Comments for me, leave those down below. And of course, if you're not yet part of the Titan Cards family, we'd love to have you with us. Make sure you go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I am intending to have our 25,000 subscriber special live stream, Pokemon and other non-sports openings, and of course, big giveaway this Thursday. Do still need to look into more regulations on the giveaways with YouTube. Definitely seems somewhat recently YouTube has changed things around, so I want to make sure I follow all the rules. Like I said, I'm intending for that on Thursday. So definitely keep an eye out. I will, when I have the info ready, go ahead and post a stream event. So that way, in your subscription box, you'll see the little notice. And it'll, of course, remind you whenever we're going live. But we'll have live streams tomorrow anyway. So even if you can't attend that one, we'll still be able to jump in either tomorrow, on Wednesday for those Mandalorian openings, or perhaps this upcoming weekend for our live breaks on Saturday night. But that does it for me here in this video. Before I get out of here, though, I do have to give a big shout out to all of our channel members. Thank you so much, you all, for going above and beyond with your support of the channel. Bossman and I truly do appreciate it. Do have 8 Black Label fans, and then Bounty Hunter Breaks, Epicenter Gaming, Fails Tales, Carol Satori, Sean F., Stephen Olivo, and Stephen Bly. We also do have 12 Gem Min fans. Alberto M., Chicago Infinity, Chris Rivers, Devon, Dusty Archuleta, Jarrett Geek, Jake Rhino C., Joe Howe, Michael C., Michael Bigelow, Scorecard Collectibles, and Sinvicta. But thank you so much to all of our channel members, and all members do, of course, have their names shown on screen at the end of every video. But that does it for me here in this one for Lucas. Once again, thank you so much, Lucas, for letting me open this on up for you. Really do appreciate all of you that let me open up boxes. It's always so much fun. I always feel a bit rude that I'm stealing most of the fun from box openings from you guys, but as long as you all are still enjoying the video, that makes me very happy. But that is it for me here in this one. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. Take care, stay safe, and I'll catch you in the next video. Bye!